So at the end of this unit, we should be able to them to a page layout. We should be able to explain the difference between a custom button and a custom link. Bit of a tricky section in Salesforce because the information is put out there. But knows what a link is, and it's very difficult to distinguish or put in words what the difference is between the two. We will sort of work through it, and I'll explain as we move along. Any differences are, all right? So here they tell you that custom buttons and links help navigate. So buttons and links, think about what a button and a link does in a normal website, right? You click a button, usually it's going to open something or it's going to take you somewhere, right? So these are more of navigation items, right? And we will see later on that a button is a bit more special than a link because a button can actually execute some logic, right? A button can do everything that a link does, can do the navigation, can even navigate with some parameters, but it can also run some logic. So you can attach some logic to a button. And we'll see that there's restrictions with what kind of logic and which features of Salesforce are compatible with running logic behind the button click, right? So I guess I've already put a chunk of the difference on the table, right? The fact that a button is more, it has more functionality than a link, right? But yeah, let's get through this module or this unit rather. So here they tell us what buttons and links allow us to do, and we can see that they allow us to essentially navigate to some resources, right? It can be a website. So the resources can be external or internal, right? External meaning I'm linking to an external resource, website, or whatever, right? Link can take you to some page on Salesforce. And obviously this makes it makes the org more user friendly. If I have a relevant buttons and links in a view, right, that I can click on, and I'm taken to some place that I can find more information. It's like when you click on, for example, you click on these links here, right? They are related to what we are seeing on this page, and they give us more information, right? So it's useful to have links and buttons. Right. What can custom buttons and links do? Right. Custom links can link to an external URL, such as Google, can link to a Visualforce page. So there's a type of page that we can create in Salesforce. We can do a lot of customizations in a framework called Visualforce. I've spoken about this framework in past videos, but it's literally a JavaScript, or rather, no, not JavaScript-based framework, but a front-end framework, and a proprietary front-end framework developed by Salesforce to build fully customizable user. Yeah, but it's a legacy framework, right? And that is still in use but not so much now. Uh, yeah, so you can open a link to an external resource. You can open a link to a Visual Force page, which is an internal resource. You can also open a link to your company's intranet. This also counts as an external resource because the intranet will be external from Salesforce itself. All right. This is custom links and custom buttons. What they say here is pretty much what they're saying up here, right? So custom button and can also launch custom links. So meaning that a custom button can do exactly everything that a custom link can do, right? So yeah, they don't say much here that is different between the two. They window properties that determine how the target of a link or button is displayed to your users. Custom links can include Salesforce fields as tokens within. So um, click on a link. When you click on a button, um, the view that we are navigating through, we can control how that view is displayed. Okay. Um, we can control how that view is displayed. Is it a full redirect to a separate? Is it a pop-up, a modal, and so on and so forth, right? So that's what they're saying here. Tell us that in a link you can add some tokens, right? Or rather some parameters to a link that make that link dynamic. Right? Have a look at what that means later on. And um, buttons, we have three types that we can create, right? So the first one that we can create is a button, and this is a button that appears on a related list. So a related list, right? And we can see that um, this is the files related list, and it has a button there, right? When we list buttons, this is where they will be placed in a related list and will be attached to a specific object in the related list. Type each link. This is a link, not a button, and this appears in the links section of record details. Right? So um, links section as it. Yeah. So on the details tab of a record page, we will a links section where you will see the links that are relevant to this record, and that's where a link will be placed. Okay, page link, and then we also lastly have a detail page button. Right. So detail page buttons appear in the action menu in the highlights panel. So this is they're talking about. So this is the action menu or action panel, and we'll have that will appear when we drop down on these buttons here as well. Um, there is a distinction between actions and buttons. We will explore that later on. But yeah, this will be where detail page buttons are placed. Yeah. Okay. So now that established the three types of things that we can create in terms of buttons and links. Like there's two types of buttons that appear in different places, and then there's a link that will only appear in a page, right, on the detail tab. Okay, so let's go on ahead and the list button. So the custom list button is a you can add to a related list. Okay, as we have already established, when you create a list button for an object, you can add that button to that object's related list. And the related list appears on our object. And so you can see here that we are looking at uh, an energy audit, right? And the lists of an energy audit, we have the files as a related list, right? Related list will have list buttons. Okay, you can look at an object that has more than just a related list. So if you look at, we're on an account right now, and we can see that there is a couple of related lists, right? We have the contacts, we have opportunities, cases, and each of these related lists will have a list button. So when you create uh, a, a list button for an object, right? So this list button is for a contact object. Um, this will be how um, objects of this type will appear as a related list on another object. Okay, so currently the contacts are appearing as a related list to an account. Okay. Same here. When you create a list button for an object, you can add that button to that object's related list when the related list appears on another object, on other objects, right? Because energy audits, so they're referring now to the there's major solar, right? So because energy audits are tied to accounts, the lookup field and an energy audit related list automatically appears on account records. We can attest to that because on an account and there you can see an energy audit related list. But uh, appears automatically on account records. For example, earlier in the module you entered the 5-year review. When you view the Team Point account report, click the related tab and scroll to the end of the page. See the related list, right? The energy now wants to add a custom button to that energy audits related list to let users navigate directly to the INSA Major Solar Energy Audit Guideline PDF. She already uploaded the PDF as a file, but she needs its URL in order to have the custom button to point to it. Okay, so we're trying to add a button to energy audits related list. Okay, so these are the steps that we have to follow from the app launcher. We need to open, click the Files tab. Okay, so here we're just viewing PDFs. Okay, so here we see that we've opened the Files tab and we see a list of files. They say upload your own file so you can follow along. I should already have a PDF uploaded. Um, always follow You can always they say you should click on the file, upload files, right? But it seems like I already do have a file here, right? So I don't need to upload another file, but this is the way it would go to upload files. Okay. But so once you have uploaded a file, click the down arrow and click share on that file, and then click the character next to who can access to expand that section in the public in the create. Let's set the password toggle to off. Click on create link and click create. Then this is going to generate a link for you that you can copy, and this will be a link that takes you to this document. And so all we're trying to do here is just to create a link that will take us to the document when it is put somewhere. Okay. This link, and then we are going to list button, right? So I guess this is what we're trying to do, list button. So let's go on and do, let's get the link first. So in order to get the link to the file and say share, expand the who can access, right? And here we want to set this toggle, this password toggle to off, right? And we this link. So this link has already been generated on my end. Might appear differently on yours, but we want to copy this link and hit done. And then once we are done, then that we need to go to Object Manager, and on the energy audit object, we want to create a list button, right? So there's that. So take your pardon. And so we're gonna go and looking for the Object Manager and energy audit object. Once we're in this object, we want to navigate to this tab here that says buttons, links, and actions. Once we are in here, we want to create not a new action, but a new button or link, right? Right, let's get the instructions on what we should label this button as, right? So this is going to be the label for this button. Before we link, right, we want to paste the link down here. Paste the link down here. The name of the button is a list button. Remember, that's what we're trying to create, a list button. Here, text list button, paste it. And because this file is local to your own, everything after the domain portion of the URL to create the custom link. So they're telling us to just trim the link a bit. So the domain ends here, right? So they're telling us to trim everything that is domain related out. Okay. Total link here. And that's the step here. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, what's that formula looking stuff? Okay, so they're talking about this the text area that we just saw now. So this is mainly where we're going to be providing custom um, some links, right, and adding what we call merge fields. Okay, um, see all about that when we get to custom links. So at this point, we're going to click save and then OK. Right, so this should be fine. Custom list button. What just happened there? Just disappeared. Okay. And yeah, it was added. Okay. Okay, so we have created a list button, right? But that list button is not anywhere as yet. Okay, so if we go to our accounts, right, related, this button is supposed to appear on a related list. On this energy orders related list, it's only the new button that appears there. Even if I refresh, button doesn't appear here, right? Let's go on and see how we can make it appear. So click on the object manager and then click account, click page layout, click account layout, scroll all the way down to the end of the layout to the energy orders related list. Edit it. Okay, so we this this related list button appears on the account object, right? So then we have to go to Object Manager and open the account in Object Manager. And then let's go to search page layouts, account page layouts. Right? And then we are going to scroll down. We are on related lists now. And then looking for the energy orders related list, which appears down here. Okay. Now we want to edit, right? And once we have this menu here, what we want to do is we want to click this plus arrow so that we can see what custom buttons we can add to this related list. Okay, so we can see that the audit guidelines button is here, so we can add it to the selection. Okay, hit OK. See what the next steps are. Okay. Okay, we are going to expand that. We just did that. Hit OK, save. Check it out. So let's save what we just did. And then our related list, once I refresh, should look different, right? You should button here. Let us refresh. Voila. So we have this new button on this related list. And when I click here, it should open, it should take me to that PDF. Yeah, this is the PDF that we have. Right. So yeah, um, that is the list button, right? That next we're going to create a link, right? A custom link, right? Saying now that Maria, our admin, wants to add a custom link that lets her users to do a quick Google search on the account that they are viewing. Okay, let's get started doing that. So we are going to follow the same steps. We're going to create that link, right? This is going to be the name and the label of the link. So as we did before, we need to go to, so this link is going to appear on the account. So we want to go to, we are on the accounts, so we're on the right place. To create a link, right? So we're not selecting action, we're going to select new button or link. All right, and we've copied the label for this link. Just going to paste it there and let the name auto-populate. Right, and this is a detail page link. So the selection that we have is already correct. Okay, and then let's see how to format the actual link itself. Okay, so formula editor, you need to enter this link here, right? And this link is formatted such that it is going to go to google.com, and then it's going to add the account name to a Google search. Okay, so let's paste that in here. Okay, so with other types of links, it's going to be based on the context, right? What are you trying to link to? What is the URL to the resource you're trying to locate, right? And is there parameters that you need to send, right? So this would be the the resource that we're trying to access, right? And this would be a parameter that we're passing, right, to that resource. So um, based on the scenario, obviously the values are going to be different, right? You might not be navigating to Google. You might be navigating to another system that is being used in the company. And you might not just want to navigate to it, but you may want to send some information to it that which you may pass in as navigation parameters. Right? See if everything is correct. We're gonna click save and OK. Save and OK. Our link has been created. Right? Link does not currently show. Right? So if I go to the details, usually links will show up in the details tab. Right? It's going to show up somewhere here. But It's not these links that you see here, but custom links we are going to see where they appear. Yeah. So let's go back. So we have created the link, added that. We can use the quick save to save and continue editing. Save and validate the URL. Okay, so we hit save and hit quick save. Okay. Okay, before you can use your custom button and links, you must add them on the object's page layout. So like we did with the button, do something similar with the link. Okay, so let's page layout, the account page layout, and then to navigate to custom links, right? And we're going to take the link that appears in the elements. I'm going to pull it into the page layout. Okay. And we are going to save. So what is going to happen here is that we're going to go to layouts, account layout. Then we're going to here and select custom links, right? And one of the custom links that we have is this one that we just created, right? And we want to add it to this custom links section here, right? So let's just take this and it's just below the billing. So we saw that there's a billing link there, right? We're gonna go to, I'm gonna go and add this Google this account. Okay, we're going to save this, see how that looks like. So currently we only have this billing link here, right? We to see the effect of us adding that Google this account link. So these links will only appear on the details page, right? So we can see that the link was added. And if we click on the link, so if we want to read this, we have been redirected, and you can see we've already told Google that um, this company here. Yeah? Different account, you will see that and it's going to take the account name and send that to Google because that's how we formatted our dummy account that I created. And the name is Capital Sale. So let's see. Let's see what happens if we Capital Sale. See, it's pulling my whole profile. Okay, that's embarrassing. Fitting nothing to it here, but okay. Yeah, it knows me. All right, so that's a custom link that we just created. Right? So we've created a custom list button, we've created a custom link, and then now we'll create a button, detail page button. So that'll be the last thing that we create. So add a custom button to the accounts page that shows the account's location on Google Maps. Okay, so to add a button that will show us the location on Google Maps. So let's go on and do that. So we're going to start off to see object manager, buttons, links, and actions. You know the drill by now. And then we're going to a button called map location. Right. So let's go on and do that. We are already in the account object manager view. Let us click on buttons, links, and actions. We're going to create a new button or link. I've copied the name or the label. Name is auto-populated. We're going to select detail page button in this instance. Okay. And they should provide a URL. Right. This URL is pointing to Google Maps resource, right? And then we are attaching some parameters, right? And these are parameters based on information that's stored in Salesforce, right? So this information that is related to the record that we are viewing. If you have a look, um, inspect these parameters, we will see that um, this will be the accounts billing street, right? So the billing street of the account that we are viewing will be passed to this URL, the account billing CT, the billing state, and the billing postal code, right? So yeah, that button will take us to this resource and it will pass that resource these parameters there. So let's just copy all of this. Copy, paste it right here. Okay, see there anything else we need to do. So yeah, so these are called merge fields, right? They are fields that we are merging from the record that we have in front of us. Right? So we're going to click save, okay, and then you know the okay, then button. Okay, so you know your guess is as good as mine. What's next? We need to come to page layouts, right, and make sure that the button is shown. Okay, so click on the page layouts, account layout. From the buttons category in the palette, drag the map location into the custom buttons area on the page layout. So there's a buttons category there, and then we're going to have the option, the button element that we can drag into our custom buttons area. So have a look, account layout. So we want to select buttons, okay? And the button that we are looking to add is map location button, okay? To add that to this custom button. So you scroll a bit down, it's not already shown, add it to the custom buttons area. So, take this, drag it into position there, and you can just hit save. That should have added everything correct to be added. Yeah, I can inspect. Current this, we know that the record detail buttons should appear here, but there is no sign. There's nothing to the effect of map location here, right? And if I expand here, there is nothing, right? So I'm just going to see the map location. Okay. Anything in this record, because I don't think I have um, entered any. Oh, no, I have. Yeah, let's go to the other account and see pinpoint. Let's have a look at this map location. You can see it opens that location on Google Maps. Okay, so yeah, we have successfully created the three types. Okay, button and link, right? So we have seen that there's two types of buttons that we can create, and then there's a link that we can also create, right? Um, so scroll up and have a look here. So there's three primary types of custom buttons and links that you can create. A list button, you know that it appears on a related list, right? And then there's a detail page link, right? It's a link that appears on the detail tab of a record page. And then there's a detail page button, which appears on the actions menu. And that's the last thing that we just created now. All right, guys. In terms of differentiating between buttons and links, um, we have somewhat differentiated, right? But a custom button is more flexible than a custom link. Custom link is just for navigation purposes. A custom button is for navigation, but can also run some JavaScript logic. Um, but this only applies to Salesforce Classic, right? Because the JavaScript execution is not supported for buttons on Lightning. Okay. Yeah, and the button can do everything that a link can do, just like in websites. So my go-to example will always be websites, right? Um, when you're creating your HTML page, a link will most likely just redirect, to navigate to some other page or resource. Uh, but a button can do that, right? In addition to running some logic, right? So just think about the two that way, and you should be good. Okay, guys, that brings us to the end of this section. See you in the next video.